Welcome to the Wealthy SAP Consultant Podcast with your host, Anita Anello, where we empower SAP consultants to deliver premium services by showcasing their expertise to the world. In each episode, we dive deep into strategies, tips, and success stories to help SAP consultants like you elevate your consultancy game, attract high-paying clients, and maximize your revenue potential. Get ready to unlock the secrets to success in the SAP consulting world and position yourself as a top-tier consultant. To connect further and explore personalized strategies for your consulting business, schedule a strategy call with our team by clicking the link below. Enjoy the show. Hey, you guys. Welcome back to the Wealthy SAP Consultant Podcast. I have a new friend of mine, Christian Genovese, that's on the show with me today. I'm super stoked to be able to bring this conversation. It's a little bit of a different twist than we typically do on the podcast, but you guys are really, really in for the treat. This gal is amazing. She has an incredible business already, and we're going to actually do some live hot seat coaching. So Christine, can you kind of do a little bit of an intro and then ask me, what's the number one area that you're stuck in your business right now?
Absolutely. Well, my name is Christine Genovese. I am known as the spiritual gangster and the creator of the Soul Intelligence Method. And the Soul Intelligence Method is a holistic healing method that's built on the science of bioenergetics, which to me is basically common sense, which essentially says if physically you're not feeling well, mentally, emotionally, you're probably not doing so hot.
Oh, yeah.
And the converse is true. And so I have a method that helps move that stuck energy up and out of the body in a painless way so people don't have to relive their trauma. And so I work with a lot of functional medicine practitioners and healthcare professionals throughout the country, and adding this modality as part of their practices. So that is like the down and dirty quickie version. If people are interested in my story, I do have a book that they can find out a little bit more about me called Healing Through Soul Intelligence, available pretty much everywhere on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, all kinds of cool places.
Yeah. Awesome. And just for everybody listening, whether you're watching the podcast or listening to the podcast, we'll be sure and put a link to her information in the show notes when we go live with the episode. So let's get right to it. Talk to me. What is give me the thing. Like, what's your biggest number one obstacle that you want me to coach you on today?
Well, I think one of the things is that being in this field, I was a corporate turnaround specialist for most of my career.
Yeah.
And so long about 2020, when I, went through the, ultimate timeout with everybody, I was plucked out of corporate America, and the method became downloaded to me, given to me, basically came through me.
Yeah.
And although I have been incredible, with figuring out what people, processes, technologies need to move, shift, change so the business could achieve their objectives, when it comes to promoting myself, that has always been a challenge for me, which is interesting. So it's like being able to help others grow their businesses has been easier than me helping to grow my own. And I know we're mirrors and there's a reflection. So obviously I've got a little soul intelligence work I got to do on myself.
Yep.
But I think my greatest question for you is, how do I convert people? I offer a free group session once a month, the first Wednesday of every month at 6 Eastern. And people are interested, they can go on my website and find out. Okay. And I know that'll be in the show notes. But I do a free event, a group session that's on a theme. And from there, I offer people the opportunity to work with me. And so my greatest question is, how do I best convert someone from a free offer to a paid experience with me?
Okay, let me ask you a couple of qualifying questions on your free event.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Tell me a little bit more about the free event. What's the focus and how long is it? And I'm going to take some notes, so I am actively listening as I'm jotting some stuff down here for you.
Oh, trust me, I have my notebook and pen ready to go for you too, sister. Okay.
Okay,
All right.
so how long and what do you talk about?
Okay, it's typically an hour.
Yep.
It's a Zoom session for an hour. And I pick a theme that's relevant. So, for example, May would be on mothers and mother wounds, right? June might be father and father wounds. I pick something that, is relevant for everybody. We just had earlier this month, the Lionsgate portal. right? And a full moon kind of combine that energy. And that's about, being in alignment with who you truly are, kind of roaring like a lion, like being out there
Okay.
and tried to shift energy. And what I do is I wind up doing a soul intelligence session so people have an experience. I do talk about what they're going to experience. And the cool thing about the method is, people are 100% compliant just by showing up. They don't have to do anything. They just get to receive, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Okay. But then I think I have to probably have at the end more of a strong call to action for people to really want to move forward with this, because essentially the method, it's kind of like you go to a chiropractor, right? And you get a biomechanical adjustment. You come to me for a bioenergetic adjustment.
Nice.
So part of my work is to explain to people what is the soul intelligence method and why do I need it and how does it support me going forward, right? And that's one of the reasons why I offer a free experience because it's, I could say it's like Reiki on steroids, People are like, okay, I understand Reiki is a transfer of energy, but what does she mean?
Yeah.
Right? So I really feel like somebody has to have an experience in order for them to have an understanding of why they might want it. Because when I do individual work, I can get really specific.
Mhm.
Whereas in a group setting, I have to pick a theme that's relevant to everybody.
Mm. Okay. Got you. I love this. I have a couple of questions for you based on what you
Sure.
just said, and maybe a little bit rapid fire succession. What's your call to action?
I describe my group program,
Okay.
which which I think is a great first step for someone to be a part of an exclusive group that gets a group session with me. They get access to all my articles before they come out in major publications like Best Holistic Life and Thrive Global and others. They get into a Slack group, so they have access to me. And they also get, support for whatever theme we're working on, self, health, wealth, or relationships in a 4 month, cycle. They get journal prompts, they get, meditations and all kinds of things to try and help shift things on their own in
Mm.
addition to what we do together. I do offer a VIP experience with that program
Love
that
that.
also incorporates additional one-on-one time with me.
Got it. Okay. Another question for you. When you're picking the topics that you're doing monthly, how are you discerning that those are the topics that you're going to teach? Are you asking people or you're deciding and you can just say one way or the other?
Typically, I either pick up, something that's been going on that I've seen in themes with my clients, right,
Okay.
over the month. That seems to be a common undercurrent, right,
Yep.
or a common theme. Other times, I'm paying attention to, although I'm not an astrologer, right, I do pay attention to universal energies and what's kind of going on with the planets, because
Yep.
then again, that typically winds up being a theme for people. For example, with the Lion's Gate, there was a lot of energy coming in because that's what that is when the spiritual sun of Sirius, the planet Sirius, aligns with our sun. And there's a lot of energy coming into the planet. And I noticed a lot of my clients were experiencing headaches and neck aches and shoulders. And so I think it was become from that energy. And so we did the session. I had so many people remark afterwards how much better they felt and how it shifted and that the pain went away.
Yeah.
So, it depends. Sometimes it's thematic times of the year, when we're all thinking about, Mother's Day, sometimes it's a great holiday for people. Other times it's a struggle,
Yeah.
right? Depending on their relationship with their mothers or how they feel about themselves as a mother or mothering others, right? So I try and pick something when I'm doing a group session that's a theme that's either relevant or timely.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. How you said your sessions are 1 hour. What's your close rate on your 1 hour sessions to close rate from let me back up. At the top of the funnel, about how many people do you have to register for your initial free event
Usually there are about 40 registrations or so
per month, per week,
per month.
per
Once a
month?
month is when I do it.
Got it.
And then about 50%,
Yep.
45 to 50% show live.
Got it.
A lot of people like the replay, right? Because they can't always make it. I've got a lot of West Coast clients, so that's 3 in the afternoon for them when I hold
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. What's
So
your when you're doing your call to action, what's your we call it a stick rate. What's your stick rate? Like of the 50, so if I had just simple math, if you have 40 people register and about 20 of those show up, then how many people are there at the pitch?
live
Hmm.
at the end of it,
Yeah.
most people stay through the entire session. I haven't had people drop off.
Okay.
So, I mean, the stick rate is strong because
Okay.
they want to experience the whole thing. And I think that's also because, I do usually in the beginning 10 to 15-minute explanation of why we picked the theme we picked
Right.
and some interaction with people and kind of talk about, after you experience this, if this is something that you want on an ongoing support basis. So it kind of, set up what they're about to experience, but at the same time, letting them know there's a way to continue working with me.
Yeah.
And then do the session, right? And then wrap up with any questions, experiences, thank yous, and call to action.
Yeah. Okay. And what's your close rate typically?
I would say it's about 2%.
Got you. Okay.
So
And
that's the thing. I think
are
I've got
you
people that just show up every month, to get the free experience, which
100%?
is
Yeah.
okay because I want people to receive the healing.
Yes.
But there's such a deeper level that they could be going if they were able to work with me in a program or a one-on-one setting, or even learn the method, which is my ultimate goal. I
Yeah.
want more people to know how to do this so they can help more people.
For themselves and others. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, I can see some things that are going on. One of the things that I do, like in my business with a VIP session, and just for everybody else that's listening, I don't say any of this to impress anybody, just to impress upon people. What Christine and I are doing right now is actually a 100K offer for me. So when I tell her some of the things that we're offering and some of the sniper direction that I'm going to give her in her business, this is what people pay me about 100K for. I have a couple of different offers, so we're going to focus on that one in particular. So, a couple of things I see, Christine. Are you aware that it takes about 7.5 hours of content in order for somebody to build up know, like, and trust?
Yes.
Okay, so can you see how, and this would be interesting for you to kind of track long term, if over let's just use some simple math. If my sessions are an hour a month and it takes 7.5 hours for somebody to consume my content, then that means at least 8 months of a sales cycle in your business based on the free option. Okay. The
Yep.
other thing that my coaches tell me all the time, I'm just going to tell you and tell the benefit for everybody else that's listening. And Eileen Wilder says this, Russell Brunson says this. My coaches tell me this all the time. People who pay attention. So while I'm not against free stuff in our business, it does not actually signal the difference between my email list and my buyer's list. And what we'd want to do in your business is create a buyer's list. Are you starting to see the difference there? If I have an
Mhm.
email list, it doesn't matter how many people are. I can have an email list of 500, 5,000, 500,000 people, but if they're not buyers, that's not actually equating to revenue in my business. So what we'd want to do is actually cultivate and create a buyer's list for you so that you can still walk people through the process, um, and then be able to move them in and increase your close rate. Your close rate on these events, kind of like the typical on a high converting event, like some of the ones that I do in my business and one of the ones that I do for my clients, our close rate should be around 30%. So
Mm.
it's like great news. You're on the right track because you do have a close rate of 2%. That's awesome because you're starting to make traction. What we would do is start working on some of the things there. The other piece of information that I'll just kind of like, I don't know, maybe because we just have a couple minutes to coach together. So, some of the other things is probably what's happening, possibly what's happening, most likely what's happening is during your event, while we are giving information, and that's wonderful, information alone does not help people, doesn't convert them because we haven't tackled their objections, their internal limiting beliefs. There are 3 categories of limiting beliefs that we always need to be working on. And the reason that I say this is because, like you, and myself and the clients that I work with, we have a heart and a moral obligation. We have these great things, whether you, and it's okay, whatever language you use is, I'm actually totally cool with. If it's the universe downloaded information or God downloaded information, whatever that looks like for you, everybody knows on my podcast, like I'm good, whatever your belief system is. I know for me, like it's God's downloaded these ideas, and I have a moral obligation to show up in the marketplace and to help others do the things that I know that I can do, because it'll help them be set free. And so I'm just going to call that gold out in you. I see that in you. You have a heart to be able to serve other people so that they can be set free. And you told me in your methodology, so that they can be set free. And I'm going to look at my notes, make sure that I get it right. Self, health, wealth, and relationships, those key areas in our lives that everybody struggles with, whether we had a great upbringing or not a great upbringing or anything in between, everybody needs those areas to improve and be better so we can grow and mature and step into more. I'm going to use language that makes sense to me so we can step into more of the purpose that God has for us. Okay. So there are three areas of limiting beliefs that we as coaches, entrepreneurs, consultants, we always must tackle these, and it's to the benefit of our listeners, the benefit of our audience. There are always internal limitations that hold people back. That's somewhere in my brain. I'm saying, I can't do this. There's always external limitations that hold people back. That's somewhere outside of me. I don't have the money. Somebody else said I can't do it. What, right? We can fill in the gaps with thousands of examples of these. And then the third is a vehicle-based objection is, that most people in the online space, in the coaching and consulting and entrepreneur space, we are touting. Can I get really real with you? I just give you like some sniper information, some sniper coaching right now, and it's 100% out of love.
Absolutely.
When you told me that my program includes this, and this, those are all vehicles. That's how the program is carried out. People don't actually buy based on vehicles. They buy based on the outcome that they can receive.
Mm-hmm.
So for instance, I'll give you an example of this. If I help coaches and consultants that are stuck at 20K a month be able to put a 6 or 7 figure month or day in their business, can you see how that is a results-based outcome?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
It's not, nobody cares about how long my program is, how many modules that it is. I'm using my business as an example, not you at all. How many modules it is, how many times we're going to meet. People don't buy those kinds of things. So when we try to communicate those to the marketplace, it actually falls on deaf ears, because what really, I'm sure from the work that you do, the core thing that everybody buys what they want, they don't buy what they need. So what do people want when they come to you? Tell me, like real question right here, real talk. What do people want when they come to you? Maybe just kind of like I know I'm asking you to pull it right off the top of your head, maybe like in a one sentence explanation. What do they want? When I come to you, Christine, what do I really want? Like, what's my heart's desire? I'm really struggling with X and I want Y.
Right. Sometimes it's a health issue. Sometimes it's physical, right?
Okay.
Sometimes it's a relationship issue, like a marriage.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's work related. You know, they keep experiencing the same kind of challenging people in their work life. So to narrow it down, I picked those four categories to narrow it down because people come to me for all kinds of reasons,
Okay.
right?
So let me just kind of dive in only because of the time. I want to be able to coach you. I want to like coach my face off for you today. So give you as much value as I
Awesome.
possibly can squeeze in. If I come to you and say, there's a health issue in my household, what would be the outcome that I could expect with working with you?
Okay, in the household, meaning everybody is sick or you're sick?
One person is sick and it affects everyone else.
Aha. Okay. So what I would do is I would look to see, within you what we can shift so that it could help shift the rest of the household. Meaning, how are you dealing with the person that is ill? Is this a caretaker issue, right? Is this something, is there a karmic relationship that needed to shift, that is coming up, and it's manifesting in the physical? is this person in everybody's life so that you all learn how to take care of someone that isn't ready to shift or heal? Um, is this, I think it's again, right? It gets very specific to the person, but I can give you a quick example. I had a doctor I was working with, and her husband was also involved in the business on the business aspect. She was the medical aspect, and he wanted her to add another location. So it was causing stress in the marriage. She was really upset and frustrated. So I worked with her. We did a session. The next day she texted me. She's like, "Oh my gosh, my husband never treated me like that before. He was so loving and kind and open. And we had such a great relationship." Conversation. I said, "What did you do?" And I'm like, "Well, I shifted your energy so he was able to respond differently.
Yeah.
You feel different."
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's describing those intangibles and converting them to tangibles, right?
Yeah.
So that's part of it. And that's why honing this in, when you have something for everybody, or you try and market to everyone, you market to no one,
Yeah.
right? So I have been kind of positioned because I also help heal people in the physical
Mhm.
through my association with Nutritional Frontiers, which is a company that provides like nutraceuticals and vitamins and all kinds of great health care, food related products for healthcare providers, right? And functional medicine doctors who are healing holistically.
Yeah.
So I add this as the mental and emotional component to healing in that world.
So good.
So that's where I've been somewhat niched,
Yeah.
um, just because I have access to that group and they're open to alternative ways of healing.
Yeah.
So it's not everyone. I've, like you, been on numerous podcasts, and sometimes that's how people find me.
Yeah.
And I have different people. I'm dealing with a gentleman out west who has been suffering from PTSD for a good 50 years, and we're really shifting things out for him where he like sacrificed himself for an entire unit of people. And he was blown away. How did I know that?
Yeah.
Well, through the method, I was able to figure that out and understand why he's had such stomach distress.
Yeah.
So it could be physical.
If I come to you for a shift in my mental state, a shift in my mindset, what would be, and about how long, and what would be the outcome that you could get for me? Like as specific as you can possibly get. And I totally understand I'm putting you right on the spot again. So, but
Um,
I,
so
yeah,
So I would dig into, what are the limiting beliefs that you're holding that need to come up and out of the body?
right.
Because emotions are energy in motion.
Yep.
And when emotions get trapped or stuck, they pool within the body and they cause dis-ease or dysfunction within the body.
Hmm.
So what I'm going to do is to find out where within the body, where within the subconscious mind are the blocks. Is it from an experience in this lifetime? Where is it showing up? Is it showing up at home, at work, in your body, at health? And then I'm going to look to see, is there any timeline differences like past life, future life, other things that are within you that you're super not aware of that are in your subconscious that need to come up and out? Are you holding stuff within the cellular level?
Yep.
So to answer your question, how long? Typically, I want someone to work with me for a minimum of 4 individual sessions so
Right.
that they have deep relief. Can you feel something immediately? Yes. I've had a different doctor that I worked with who couldn't walk on her own foot for like 4 months. And she's like, "I can't put any pressure on it. I was crawling to the bathroom when I called you." I did one session for her and I'm like, "What are all these men that aren't supporting you? What is going on here?
Yeah.
Like, you can't take a step forward. What is that?" And she's like, "Oh my gosh, there were contractors in my house. They did a faulty job. And, I can't even get my lawyer on the phone. My own lawyer's not supporting me." And I said, "Okay, well, we're going to shift this
Yeah.
energy block. And then you're going to get on the phone and put your foot up his butt, okay, your attorney's butt, and get this moving." So literally the next day she went, she had tears and she called me and she's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it. I can walk." And this is a doctor, healer, heal thyself, right?
Yeah.
So it can be that quick in one session. I'm not saying you're not going to feel relief. But typically for most things, it's like peeling an onion, right? And so that's why I equated it to an energetic adjustment, right? Like a chiropractic biomechanical adjustment or bioenergetic adjustment. because this is something I do for myself on a weekly basis. But it's also like going to the chiropractor. Once you've gone there, you had a back issue, right? Your back hurt, you fixed it. In order to keep straight and keep everything in alignment, you should go on a maintenance,
Yeah.
right? Once a month or twice a month or whatever it is you need to support you and your body.
Right.
And so it's similar with me.
Okay. I'm totally tracking with you and I love it. I love what you do. It's so exciting. Question for you. How do you get your leads?
My leads come through social media. They come through podcasts. A lot of people, I drive most traffic to my website, soulintelligencemethod.com. So that way, people get to see some of my resources, see what programs are available, and then they schedule time with me.
And are you doing paid traffic or organic traffic?
Right now, it's just organic.
Awesome. Okay. Have you tried paid traffic at all?
Not for myself in this business yet, no.
Yeah. Okay. And honestly, like, just paid traffic can be wonderful as long as your message is firing and you're converting an offer in the back end, preferably a higher ticket offer. Like, for instance, some of the offers that I'm working with a client right now, I'll just do this one. I just finished doing a workshop with a VIP client, and we created in a 2-day format, we created a 5K, a 25K, and a 100K offer for him. And the 100K offer can easily scale to like a $300,000 to $500,000 offer. And so when I have those things converting in the background at some great metrics, then it makes sense for me to put money on the front end and push ads toward that. But when we're not, you weren't asking this, but maybe I'm just sharing with you or for the audience. If your messaging isn't converting yet, then just based on experience, we call it tuition in my business. You pay a lot of tuition to whatever platform you love to be able to be on.
Mhm.
If it's not converting, it's a very expensive way to have a learning lesson to tell you that your message is not converting. And so I don't recommend that. I've tried it a bunch of different ways with a bunch of different businesses, but and by the way, there is a learning curve in our messaging and making sure that the market's responding. But what we mean by that is when the market responds, it means they've raised their credit card and said yes to something. That's the market saying your messaging resonates with me so much so I'm actually going to put some money down. And it can be the tiniest amount of dollars. It's actually not the dollar amount that signals the buyer. It's the fact that they just raised the card and did it. So it can be a $7 offer or any of those different numbers that are so fun in the online space. That part is really irrelevant. It's the fact that we have people raising their hand in the form of paying us and saying, yes, I want what you have. I want your checklist for you, for me. I want whatever, right? I won't take the time in this podcast to go through all that. So, okay, so I can see where some lead gen could be very valuable because you could create a pipeline to be able to get more people into your monthly do you call it a webinar? What language do you use when you do your monthly session?
Usually a monthly group session.
Got
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Or an online webinar, whichever.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're listening and we're talking about like marketing terms and that doesn't make sense to you, don't sweat it. Um, there's lots of different terminology in the marketing world that you don't have to worry about at all. If you're just listening to the podcast and you're like, I don't know what you're talking about. What's the difference between a WebEx and a webinar and all? Don't sweat it. Okay. Christine, do you have I'm just looking at the time and I want to be aware of the time. What other questions do you have for me before we wrap up today?
Well, what would you, if you were going to give me three things that you would do differently or better, what would be like three takeaways for me? Is the first one, to change the free offer to a paid offer?
I would do a couple of things. I would help you craft a high ticket offer in the background because that would bring in a cash infusion in our business, does wonders for everything and everyone in our life, because then we have room to breathe and we have room to navigate and we have room to expand. And so putting a high ticket offer in the back end of your business would be phenomenal. My definition, so the online definition of a high ticket offer is anything over 2K. In the world that I hang out with, all high ticket sellers, our definition of that is a 10K or greater offer, like a 25K offer. Can you see how if you had a handful of 25K clients, which you totally can do based on what I've seen and just in these minutes that we spent together, with your system. But if you had a 25K offer and 4 people bought, you'd have a 100K day, and that might be pretty good to you. I don't know what your revenue desires are, and we could maybe talk later and go into that a little bit more. But first and foremost, I would talk about putting on a high ticket offer. Now, we don't have time to go into all the details of that because there are 5 key components that have to be in every high ticket offer in order for those to convert. And we use slightly different language to call out our high ticket buyers, and separate them from our free people. We love our free people and we want to be able to honor them and meet them where they're at, but we don't start there. So the other thing is I would encourage you to, you didn't say this, I'm just going to make an assumption. So I'll apologize ahead of time if this is not you, but if somebody's listening. In the online world, we have all these gurus that tell us that start at a small, free, tiny offer. There's a lot of language around that, and work your way up the value ladder. So start at the smallest piece and then go to, I don't know, I'm just going to make up some numbers. Go start from like a $7 offer, then go to $100 a month and then a 2K offer. I know those aren't your numbers. I'm just making some stuff up. That is the slowest and most painful way to build a business. So my second bit of advice would be don't do that. It's not accurate and it's painful. Ask me how I know. It's painful for you and everybody else in your household when we try to build businesses that way. And it kind of sucks. It really does. It's long. Awful. Don't do that. The third thing I would say is it would be amazing if you could put in your current offer and delineate between the people that are coming for free and a paid alternative. There's lots of different ways to do that because you're already pointing people to, here's one example, real tangible, actionable item. Because you're already pointing people to a Zoom session, you could do like a $7 or $47 VIP ticket and figure out in your mind what the definition of a VIP ticket looks like for you. And then you could stream the rest of the free people to like a private, I don't know, Facebook group, school group, whatever platform you want. It's not really relevant. But see how right away you'd have the ability to see who are my buyers and who are my non-buyers who are just consuming information. Because remember what we said earlier, people who pay will pay attention. So your clients, I have a friend of mine, Jackie Lacroix, who always says, we actually are causing an incredible dysfunction and disservice to our clients when we don't charge them enough or we don't charge them at all. So by not charging, just real talk, real love, by not charging, we are allowing them to stay in the dysfunction that they're already in because they're not invested. When we put down any amount of money in any offer at any time, then we're invested. When I put down 25K to be in a mastermind, when I put down 100K to be in a mastermind, can you imagine, or attended for free, can you imagine for me how much more I paid attention when I paid my coaches $100,000 to be in a very specific mastermind so that I could grow my business and go from $1 million to $10 million? Can you see the difference there? Versus there's a lot of great information out on the internet. I'm not saying that there's not, but I won't pay attention if I'm not invested. So we want to get people invested. There's a bunch of different ways that we can do that, but that would be just high level. I would try those 3 sniper moves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate your thought leadership and certainly your generosity in this coaching opportunity. So thank you so much for today. It was really valuable.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, everybody, as we wrap up this episode, be sure to follow us and share it with all your friends. This episode in particular with Christine has been really amazing. I thank you for the opportunity. I also want to say, Christine, I thank you for the work that you're doing. It's so incredibly important the work that you're doing, as I hear your stories and I hear your testimonies and I hear your methodology, there are people that are out there that need what you have. And I just want to honor that in you. And I want to call that out in you, like keep going, because the world needs what you have to offer. There's a slice of the world that first of all, there's more than enough for everybody that's out there right now. There's never been more money in the economy, no matter what the news says. There's never been more money in the economy than there is right now. And there are people that are out there that are really going to be drawn to everything about you, your look, your voice, your methodology, your belief system. And I want to honor that in you and say, keep going no matter what, because there are out there people, I believe there are people that are out there that are metaphorically and literally dying for us to come to the table and share our message with them and create more offers. They're just waiting for your offers. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It's been a pleasure getting to know you too. And I look forward to, hopefully hanging out with you again.
Yes, totally, totally. Okay. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you on the next episode.
Well, that's a wrap for today's episode of the Wealthy SAP Consultant Podcast with your host, Anita Anello. We hope you gained valuable insights and strategies to take your consulting business to new heights. Remember, by showcasing your expertise and delivering premium services, you can attract high-paying clients and increase your revenues while serving your customers at the highest levels. To dive deeper into implementing these strategies and overcoming challenges in your consulting journey, schedule a strategy call with our team by clicking on the link below. Stay tuned for our next episode, where we'll continue to provide you with actionable tips and advice to excel in the SAP consulting industry. Thank you for tuning in, and until next time, keep shining in your consulting business.